Hey guys, it's Alex, and I'm here with what has now come to be known as my monthly tag video. I wasn't planning to do a tag for the month of October just because there was nothing that piqued my interest, but Seihren over at the Bookish has a NaNoWriMo tag, so I decided to do that because I just recently decided that I was going to participate in NaNoWriMo this year. November is also nonfiction November for me, and I'm co-hosting that readathon with a few other people, so I do want to be focusing more on my reading, so I'm probably only going to aim for 10 to 15,000 words, but I'm still going to participate because I absolutely love Nano. Question number 1 is, how many years have you participated in NaNoWriMo? I have participated in some form every year since 2008, so this will be my 11th year, which has been a very long time. I haven't won every year, and I haven't always written a lot of words. I think one year I topped out at 5,000, and we only sort of count that as an attempt. But I have at least written something specifically for Nano every year since 2008. Question number 2 is, are you a planner, a pantser, or a plantser? I am a pantser all the way. I don't plan anything. I like to figure out my story as I'm writing it. For whatever reason, I sort of write the way I read, and that I like to go through a story and figure it out as I go along and figure it out as the characters do. I am the creator, I'm not in the backseat for any of this, but it is sort of fun to treat it the same way I do reading a book. Knowing what happens in advance kind of dulls the story for me. Question number 3. If you are a planner or a plantser, what are the first story elements you flesh out? I did say I was a pantser, but going in I do sometimes know the general premise. I know the main character sometimes. Sometimes I'll literally start with nothing and just pull up a first sentence prompt and go from there. But sometimes I do have a premise idea in my head. I have a main character and I sort of have a general idea of who they are. I may not know a lot and I may not know details, but I sort of have this idea that just ruminates in my head for a while. Question number 4. NaNo Forums. Do you use them? I have. I haven't as much in recent years, but when I was in high school and college, I pretty much lived in those forums. I made so many friends specifically from Nano that were all over the world. It was loads of fun. I guess now I'm just not as interested in that because I do have other writing friends, so I don't really need the forums as much to interact with people. Question number 5. Writing buddies. Do you prefer to write socially or alone? I tend to prefer to write alone. I do have friends who write, but I don't really write together with them, if that makes sense. It's just nice to have friends who are going through the same thing, and it was sort of a way I used to make friends, regardless of if they wrote or not. But I don't really like to talk about my story a lot. It's not like a secret, I just don't really see the point. I'd rather just write it, which is maybe weird because I love to talk about what I'm reading. Explaining things to other people always makes me feel like I'm opening myself to unwanted criticism or whatever. And I do love being critiqued on my stories. It's just when I specifically ask for critique, I don't just want your unsolicited advice on what would be better to do with my story. Question number 6. Do you diligently write 1,667 words a day, or do you write in spurts? This year I'm obviously not going to be writing that much a day because I'm going for a much lower goal, but when I am going for the full 50,000, I tend to aim for 2,000 words a day. That gives me a nice buffer on the days where I just run out of time or I'm feeling stressed and don't want to write. So I am sort of like very diligent and even, but in recent years, I've been more of a write 10,000 words this day and then write nothing for the 3 days after, which is not the best way to write because that's incredibly exhausting. Question number 7. Do you have a writing totem? No, I don't. I don't really see the point. Nothing against people who have them, just for me, I don't see the point. Question number 8. Do you go to kickoff, write-in, or wrap-up parties? I do. I don't so much go to the kickoff party. I've been a few times, but it's a very large event, at least in my region, and there are like 50 people who go, and by the time I get there, people are generally already in groups, and they're very welcoming. I'm just not the kind of person who's comfortable with so many people or can insert myself into a group, so I wind up standing off on the side alone, counting down the minutes until I feel comfortable leaving. It's nothing anyone does to make me feel uncomfortable, it's just my social anxiety. I do like to go to write-ins a lot. I don't get my best writing done with other people around, but it's fun to have some sort of social time, and write-ins are usually a lot smaller, like only a couple people usually, so I feel a lot more comfortable. And I've gotten to know some of the people in my region over the years, and they're all really lovely and nice. And I do go to the wrap-up party sometimes, if I make it to the end of the month. It's a lot smaller than our kickoff party. It's usually like 15 people or so, whoever's made it this far and is free. That event is usually really fun as well. Question number 9, are you an analog or a digital writer? I prefer writing digitally, mostly because I can type a lot faster and a lot longer than I can handwrite anything. Last November I didn't have a computer, so I had to handwrite my entire NaNo novel. Well, it wound up being like 2 novellas, but I had to handwrite the whole thing. And basically what I discovered is that I write really slowly, and I really can't write more than 2,000 words in a day because it makes my hand cramp up really bad, which made it difficult when I got behind. I timed myself and it came out to about 500 words an hour, which meant to get the 2,000 words a day, I had to write 4 hours straight. And that included taking short breaks in the hour because I couldn't just straight write because that would make my hand cramp up. So it was an incredibly slow pace and it really wasn't sustainable, although I do enjoy handwriting. And the follow-up to this is, does that change when you brainstorm or plan? And I don't really brainstorm or plan for the most part, so no, it doesn't, I guess. Question number 10 is share your NaNo username, and mine is Nightlight Writing. Feel free to add me, but I'm not super active over there. I'll probably update my word count and check my messages, and that's about it, but I would love to be writing buddies on their website. I'm going to tag select pages to do this because I believe she's doing NaNoWriMo. And I think everyone else I've seen who's doing NaNo has already been tagged. So if you are doing NaNo and you haven't been tagged, then I tag you. You should do this just to spread the love in the writing community, the AuthorTube community, I guess. I feel weird saying that because I don't really talk about my writing much on here because I don't write seriously, I guess. I don't plan to publish, so being a part of AuthorTube feels weird when I'm not ever going to be an author, although I am a writer, so there's that. NaNo is fun. Y'all should come do NaNoWriMo with us if you're writers. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys again soon. Bye!